Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to our State of the City address for the City of Kankakee. At this time, I want to acknowledge elected leaders and distinguished guests. If you could please stand at this time. Thank you for being here and for your dedication and service to the people of the City of Kankakee. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you for your work. I also want to acknowledge our Kankakee department heads and employees. If any of those people are here, if you could please stand. I want to thank all of you for your work, your integrity, your commitment to our city, and the many talents you share with me on a daily basis. I appreciate each of you. Thank you to the Kankakee Public Library, led by Executive Director Steve Bertrand and his wonderful team, who have coordinated our space this evening and will be recording this event. I want to thank my husband, Keith, and my daughter, Leah, for your ongoing support and encouragement. Thank you to my two Carolyns, Carolyn Mitchell, my Executive Assistant, and Carolyn Croswell, HR Director. Both of these ladies helped pull everything together this evening. And at this time, I want to specifically acknowledge Pat Powers. Pat here? Okay. Pat retired today from the City of Kankakee after serving us for over 15 years. He was originally the Assistant Corporation Counsel, and then when I came on board, he assumed the responsibility of Corporation Counsel. So while this was a transitional year for me, it also was a transitional year for Pat. He was gracious enough to work with me during this first year, and I'm grateful for his service. So I just want to say publicly thank you to Pat for his service to our great city. And I want to share some lessons that I learned from Pat. When I originally came in, Pat and I are pretty different as night and day. We're from different generations, we're from different political parties, different socioeconomic status. And, you know, when I came in as a new mayor, he had been in the previous administration. So I had a level of fear, and I was concerned about our ability to work together and to be able to really connect and if it would be a good fit. But over the year, I learned so much from him. And although we all have differences, I think it's really important. And the lesson I learned through Pat was to really look for those common areas where we connect and where we can work together. We both love the City of Kankakee. We both love dogs. He's an extremely hard worker. As I stated, you know, some of the responsibilities he took on this year were different than what he had been accustomed to as well. And so I just really appreciate how hard he worked, particularly on our IDOR case. I know he worked weekends and evenings, and he's just a great example of someone from my dad and my grandmother's generation, you know, that has that true work ethic. He was even considerate enough when he left to give us at least a 4-week notice. He didn't just leave. And I just think that he ended his career as a class act. So I just wanted to acknowledge that about Pat. And I just want to say that, you know, as a social worker, fear sometimes paralyzes us. And I'm grateful that I allowed myself to be vulnerable around Pat, so that I could really learn who he was and he could really learn who I was. And as a result of that, we were able to get a lot of good things done for the city. So that's my story about Pat. Hope he enjoys his retirement. He deserves it. Just over a year ago, we began a new journey in our city. During May 2017, we came together to embrace a new vision and a new voice for the City of Kankakee. During my campaign to be your mayor, I listened to the concerns of many diverse residents that call our community home. I listened to the concerns of seniors and working families who are feeling squeezed by increasing property taxes. I listen to young men and women who don't feel safe in their neighborhoods and feel crime has gotten out of control. And I listen to high school students and young adults who don't see opportunity or future in our region and feel their government is not responsive to their needs. At that time, I promised to bring our community together to develop comprehensive solutions to our shared problems. While at times the needed remedies to our struggles may seem daunting, we cannot allow ourselves to be defined by our problems, but instead, we should be defined by how we work together to confront those problems. Together as one, we can make Kankakee a city where we can all dream, grow, and thrive. Over the past year, while we may not have always agreed, we have made progress in our efforts. With the commitment and leadership of our City Council Budget Chair, Dennis Barron, and Comptroller Elizabeth Kubel, together, we developed and passed a balanced budget in 34 days. As you all know, a budget is a policy document and it reflects what we value. The budget we passed lives within our means, increases efficiencies where possible, and maximizes the limited tax dollars we have to provide high-quality services to the residents we serve. We successfully negotiated union contracts with our firefighters, Teamsters, and operating engineers, settling on all three of those contracts before they were due, something that has not been accomplished in many years in our city. We purchased a much-needed ambulance and increased efficiencies within our fire department to decrease costs without jeopardizing public safety. I want to thank Alderman Carl Brown, who chairs the Public Safety Committee and has provided leadership in terms of priorities and monitoring trends in that department. We implemented a property tax reduction ordinance that will take effect in 2019 and is anticipated to reduce the property taxes of our residents by approximately 20%. I want to thank Alderman Chris Curtis, who worked closely with me on public education of the property tax reduction ordinance, and to Alderman Osinga and Alderman Crawford, who allowed us to come into their neighborhood meeting and present to the community. We started a rebranding campaign, introducing a new logo that embraces our city's history with bridges and rail, while showcasing the river that we are fortunate to have in our community. We implemented a new website that is being updated regularly and brings our city into the 21st century with features to accommodate 90 languages, streams city council meetings live, and serves as a hub to connect the community. We increased our output of information on social media. I want to thank Alderwoman Cherry Malone Marshall for her active engagement on social media and sharing the work of the city of Kankakee. We ended the practice of using taxpayer money to support and sponsor organizations who request city funds. And we initiated an outreach plan where departments engaged the community for food drives, pet drives, and so on. While our successes have been many, we have also been met with obstacles along the way. Shortly after passing our balanced budget, the city was informed by the Illinois Department of Revenue of an $824,000 overpayment. The announcement of the closing of Ultra Foods in the 5th Ward brought concerns over access to healthy and affordable foods, in addition to a decrease in annual sales tax revenue generated through the store. As if the aforementioned challenges were not enough, our city almost lost a key member of the Kankakee Fire Department. I remember where I was when Chief Damon Schultz called me and told me I needed to get to the hospital because something had happened to Captain Jeff Bruno. I remember the emotion of the 15 firefighters who had come to the hospital to check on their captain and the family members of Captain Bruno who had gathered as well. Although the group of individuals gathered that day live in different neighborhoods, attend different churches, and even come from different cultures, on that day, our City of Kankakee family was united in support of Captain Bruno, his family, and close friends. It is in that spirit of unity and resolve that makes Kankakee such a special place to live. In the year ahead, as we confront the unique set of challenges facing our community, we must tap into that spirit to bring lasting change to our community. This kind of transformational change will require vision, bold ideas, detailed planning, and the will to see our projects to completion. During the month of September, we launched the Kankakee Forward Agenda, outlining a vision of a safer, more cohesive community where every resident can dream, grow, and thrive. Part of that vision includes a plan to develop the Riverfront. Working with the City Council and Hitchcock Design Group, in addition to our Kankakee Valley Park District, led by Dana Heiss as the Executive Director, we approved funding to begin developing plans for the area. At this time, I want to thank Alderman Fred Tedder, Alderman Jim Fafford, and Alderwoman Carmen Lewis for their service on the Riverfront Task Force. For too long, development along the Kankakee Riverfront has been overlooked. Last fall, our city and Hitchcock Design Group worked with stakeholders in the community to gauge the interest in the community in utilizing the river as a tool to make the city of Kankakee a premier riverfront destination. The results of that engagement were staggering. 86% of our survey respondents reported that the riverfront is very important to the city's identity. 91% of our respondents reported that the city should improve the riverfront for a variety of reasons, including improved appearance, accessibility, recreational activities, economy, downtown enhancement, culture, and ecology. Bottom line is that we consulted with our residents. Bottom line, we listened. And now we are being responsive. Before you leave this evening, please be sure to explore the displays of the riverfront concepts that are located throughout the space this evening. I trust you will be amazed by the magnitude of this project, which will be built in incremental stages, taking into account the economic climate and utilizing tools that are available for municipalities to develop capital projects. This development requires vision, and with the collaboration of our community, we can get this done and make the city of Kankakee a premier riverfront destination. In conjunction with our riverfront plans is the expansion of biking and walking trails. Neil Kagash, our city engineer, worked tirelessly to complete an ITEP grant application, and that's the Illinois Transportation Enhancement Program. That grant application provides funds to expand walking and bike trails for residents and visitors alike. The grant was submitted, and we were successful in receiving funding to complete phase 1 engineering on this project. And while the city has experienced a temporary setback in the development of downtown apartment units, we are committed, fully committed, to continue working to increase housing development in our downtown area. Other downtown projects include a new streetscape initiative. In my role as the city's representative on the Kankakee County Convention and Visitors Bureau, I work with our CVB Executive Director, Stacy Wilkin, and brought the concept of a bike sharing program to the city of Kankakee. The bikes are expected to be available in our downtown farmers market by midsummer and will enhance accessibility to the city. Thank you to my fellow colleagues on the CVB board, the city council, and the city partners, including the Kankakee Downtown Corporation, KDC, and the Kankakee Public Library for partnering with the city to share the cost of this bike sharing program, which will market our new logo and build our new brand. While economic development will remain a top priority in the year to come, reducing crime in every neighborhood will also be a key focus for our city. Under Chief Dumas' leadership, communication with the City Council has increased in an effort to keep members abreast of crime concerns in their local neighborhoods. A gang enforcement tactical unit was formed. Our police force partnered with KMED, law enforcement throughout the region, and our state's attorney to take drug dealers and guns off our streets. And for the first time in 30 years, our crime index is the lowest it has been in the city of Kankakee. Community engagement and public accessibility has also increased. Events such as Coffee with a Cop and the Halloween Trunk or Treat event have worked to increase community trust. At a time when discussions are taking place nationally over negative police and community relationships, I look back and remember a particular 8-year-old African-American boy dressed up as a police officer at our Halloween event. I remember the smiles of the young boy who looked up to our own city officers with awe and admiration. I am proud of the work our Kankakee Police Department is doing every day to keep our community safe. And while there is still room to improve, I know that our officers have tough jobs and are committed to having better relationships with our city residents as they are working daily to serve and protect each and every resident of this city. Know that we all have a responsibility to create the community in which we desire to live. We must be bold in that vision and the efforts to create that community. And right now, we need one another more than ever. The trend at the state level has included a reduction of resources. There's tension at the federal level. However, this does not have to be the case on a local level. Because if we come together on a local level, as we have done on many initiatives throughout this past year, we can get things done for the city of Kankakee. We can bring solutions to our community. With crime being a top concern for our city, I decided to put my research skills and networks to use to address public safety. As a result, I discovered a national organization of mayors that are dedicated to ending violence among African American men and boys. This organization selected the city of Kankakee to receive resources, training, and assistance in implementing a public safety plan. In this cohort of 40 cities, Kankakee was the only small city selected. Other cities in this cohort include Denver, Baltimore, Little Rock, Baton Rouge, and various municipalities with hundreds of thousands and even millions in their population. But the small city of Kankakee was in the room. All right. Kankakee, with a population of approximately 27,000 residents. People across this country who had never heard of a city called Kankakee now know about our city. We have elevated our city's platform, and we are among those taking the lead to address public safety in communities throughout this nation. This organization, called Cities United, was founded in 2011 in an effort to bring together cities to reduce homicides in half by 2025. Our young African American boys and men need to know that they are valued and that we are taking steps to address violent crime that disproportionately affects young men of color. I am thrilled about the potential benefit this collaboration will bring to the city of Kankakee in the coming year. And I will be looking to partner with the community to implement a citywide public safety plan. This work will be led by my team co-leads, Deb Barron and Travis Miller. Thanks to both of you for your passion and your willingness to serve on this team. The challenges we face, while unique to our community, are certainly not new. Former manufacturing towns, both big and small, across our nation are confronting the challenges of a rapidly changing global economy. Kankakee is no different. The factories are gone. There is no more Roper, no more Gould Battery, and no more Quaker Oats. But with that being said, we must utilize our key advantages, which include an extensive infrastructure network, access to a major metropolitan area, while still enjoying lower home values and access to plentiful land for development. A diverse population, both racially and culturally, and the drive of local officials and residents to truly transform our region. We have the tools necessary for success. We just have to commit to prioritizing what is most important as we continue our work. And what is most important is this city and its residents. As we continue focus on our vision to move Kankakee forward, we must be aware that the city of Kankakee has been called to action by industry leaders. One of our largest regional employers, CSL Behring, recently announced plans for a 1.8 million square foot expansion of their facility. Executives at CSL have challenged our community to enhance quality of life, to enable them to attract the top talent needed at their facility. This will require housing development, continued investments in our downtown area, and a new approach to solving long-standing regional issues. Our commitment to these issues is seen in the development of the Riverfront, focusing on crime and community relations with law enforcement, increasing housing options, and in ensuring every resident has the chance to dream, grow, and thrive. Over the course of the past year, we have shown vision and bold leadership. I now ask who in this room tonight will be bold enough to stand with me as we move forward. Kankakee is primed for a time such as this. We are positioned right now in this moment for a renaissance. Before I close, I challenge you to consider where you see yourself in the Kankakee Forward agenda. Will you remain stuck in the past? Will you allow fear to impede progress for our city? Will you resist the only thing that is constant? Change. I will end with a quote by an unknown author. If we live in fear of the future because of what has happened in the past, we will end up losing what we have in the present. Let's not lose the opportunities before us. We can win together. Thank you, and God bless our city.